Alright folks, welcome to the Yak Math videos for your calculus final exam for the fall review video number 2. Folks, on this next one, we're taking a look at the second exam here, the answers. Again, be prepared to answer some of these questions on your final. Evaluate each limit. Folks, simply plug -4 in because you don't get a denominator of 0. You don't get the indeterminate 0 over 0 case. You simply get your answer there. Now, on all the others, you're going to have to do a little bit of algebra. First, factor out the 2, then you have a difference of 2 perfect squares. The x minus 4's will cancel, leaving you with the limit as x approaches 4 of 2 times x plus 4. Plug 4 in for x, you get 16. Alright, folks, this is the sum of 2 cubes. That is x plus 2 times first term squared minus the inner product plus the second term squared. The x plus 2's cancel. Now I can plug -2 in, and that is what I get. 12 over 2. Alright, folks, here is number 4. Simply factor the top, x minus 7x plus 4. Folks, these two cancel, but they are not going to cancel b1. They're opposites. Cancel b-1, plug 7 in for x. You get -11 as your answer. Again, pause this whenever you need to. Folks, take a look at the next one here. Limit is going to infinity. Take a look at the highest power. You would think it's at the bottom because you see the third, but no. This is x to the first times x to the 1/2. That is x to the 3/2. Same power, top and bottom. That means the limit is the ratio of the leading coefficients there, 7 over 4. This one, factor out the 6 first, folks. All right, then that tells you, if I need to get rid of x minus 5, I'll probably have a factor of x minus 5 there. 5 times 3 will give you 15. X minus 5, 4x plus 3 would be the other factor. If that's a negative, and you have a negative product, you know this has got to be positive. A quick check gives you 3x minus 20x, which is -17x. So x minus 5's cancel, and be like late and plug it in for your answer. Here, folks, you have the difference of 2 perfect squares. First, take the square root of x to the 4th, then the square root of 81, and you get x squared minus 9, x squared plus 9. All right. Square x squared minus 9, or take the square root, I'm sorry, factor x squared minus 9, there's a better word. Get x minus 3x plus 3. That tells you that here you're going to need to factor out an x minus 3. -3 times a positive 4 will give you -12. If you need this to be x minus 3, then the other one's got to be 3x plus 4. The x minus 3's cancel. I can plug 3 in for x. Just do a little arithmetic there, and we have our answer. Number 8, folks. Got to multiply top and bottom by the conjugates. So root 8x plus 4. Root 8x times root 8x is 8x. Minus 4 times 4 is 16. Factor out the 8. X minus 2's cancel. Plug 2 in for x. You're going to get root 16, which is 4. 8 over 8 is 1. 8 over 8 is 1. Okay, folks. Really like number 9. Hint, hint, wink, wink. All right, so you have a piecewise function. You have those 3 equations right there. If x is less than -3, if x is between -3 and 4, and if x is greater than or equal to 4. So if I want to evaluate the limit of f of x is approaching -3 from the left, that means it is still less than -3. So you're using this first equation. Plug -3 in for x in that first equation. Approaching -3 from the right, that means it's bigger than -3. So we're using the second equation. Plug -3 into the second equation. Notice how the left limit and right limit don't equal. So the limit as a whole does not exist. All right, next one. X is approaching 4 from the left. That means it is less than 4. So I'm using that equation right there. All right. X is approaching 4 from the right. It is greater than 4, so I'm using this equation right there. Notice how those two limits are not equal, so the limit as a whole does not exist. Find the value of c so that f is continuous on the entire negative infinity to infinity. All right, So what I need to do is if this is going to be continuous everywhere, I need those two answers to be the same when x is -5. So I'm going to need to plug -5 in for x. And I'm going to get 10 plus 35, which is 45. So I need both this and this to give me the same answer of 45. That means I'm going to set 45 equal to that. I'm going to plug -5 in for x there and there. All right, and that is what I've done here. All right, gives us a nice answer of 2.88 or 72/25. And folks, find the equation of the tangent of the equation of the line tangent to the curve at the given point. Folks, you know how to take the derivative. That is 3x minus 2 to the 1/2. Bring down, just use the power rule. 1/2, 3x minus 2 to the 1 power less, -1/2, times the derivative of 3x. Folks, that is written as 3/2, notice 2 is in the denominator, of the square root of 3x minus 2. Plug 6 in for x. You get 18 minus 2, which is 16. Square root of 16 is 4. 2 times 4 is 8. That is the slope. That is the slope of your tangent line. Put it in point slope form. Very quick derivative on 12, which is -2x. The slope is the derivative of x evaluated at -2. -2 times -2 is 4, so your slope is 4, and that's the equation in point slope form. All right, this next one. Take the derivative, is 6x minus 2. Evaluate the derivative at x equals 1. You get a slope of 4. And that is your equation. Take the derivative here, 3x squared minus 12x. Evaluate it at x equals 2 to get -12 for your slope. That is your line. Yep, that is the equation of your line right there. Again, pause this whenever you need to. Folks, what I did tell you, dropped a big hint. If I want you to take the derivative, I'll let you do it using easier methods. So this is how you would do 15. It is a little bit of a pain, but that is what you get. And if we let h go to 0, it is simply 14a plus 3, which you knew already because that derivative is simply 14x plus 3. All right, use the intermediate value theorem to show that there's a real root. There's a root of that equation between 3 and 4. Simply plug 3 in for x, you get a negative. Plug 4 in for x, you get a positive. That means you had to cross 0. Had to cross 0. That is a very easy question. And lastly, folks, this one took a long time on your second exam because you didn't know the sweet derivative rule. Now you do. Simply take that derivative. That is easy, folks. The derivative is -32t plus 60 and evaluate it at time t equals 3. The instantaneous velocity at time t equals 3 is -36 feet per second. Folks, that is your second video for this lovely fall final review. Yak Math Videos signing out.